Live. All right, now we're live. So we are live on YouTube, live on Facebook, on my Facebook, my YouTube, but not MC 101. So if they want to see me and you together, they got to either go to my YouTube channel, FHO Atlanta GA, and they can see both of us live.
All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go live on the page on the
on the MC 101 page.
Yeah, that way we can just have it like that.
All right, let's do that. All right, so fuck. But the call-ins, all that stuff is ready to go. So call-ins and all that shit.
Yeah, let me get this lined up.
Get that done. Yo.
I had it too and I dropped it. All right, so that should be it right there. So
the comments is coming in now.
Okay. One second, we have time.
All right, Swerve. All right, Swift. All right, Swift, Swerve, Dion Wilds. What up, man? We got a hot one for y'all tonight, so y'all bear with us. We working it out, man. Sit down, say you need what?
Yeah, I should be live now. Okay. Let me see.
Damn, so you need what?
All right, you should be up now.
All right, we should be on and popping. Let's see. All right, so let's get this thing. All right, here we go, y'all. All right, let me get this thing. Get ready. Fuck, where is it at? It's right here. I'm tripping.
You're listening to MC 101 Talk Show. Live. Hosted by two GUNZ. Co-hosted.
Oh. I don't know what that was.
No, it's me. Hold on. Title is turn the motherfucker off. Y'all bear with us.
Oh yeah, we up.
Two GUNZ talks about all right, everybody, y'all bear with us. We get it together. I know. Shut up, whatever. You need a technical advisor. Yes, I do. You're more than welcome to come over here. IBIG. Chill. CLES. Let me add a picture. Open.
You're listening to MC 101 Talk Show. Live. Hosted by two GUNZ. Co-hosted by Big Cell. And we talking straight motorcycle protocol. Tune in every Wednesday around 7 p.m. for pure motherfucking facts on FHO Podcast Radio. MC 101. Where motorcycling is life.
All right, here we go. Here we go, y'all. All right, that's me. All right, so I can see some of the comments. All right, so it's been a long day, y'all, so work with me. All right, so real quick, let's get this thing started.
The Chosen.
Yo, testing 1 2, testing 1 2.
Let's go.
Gray Egg Street in the building. I'm riding with my homie Big Cell. FHO Radio, the podcast with the FHO NIC. Big Cell, Lil Debo, aka the Brown Eminem. Coast to coast. On the mics. Fast Harleys only. Get with it.
All right, man, we back on technical shit going on. And listen, all this shit going on tonight, they don't want us to bring you this message, but it's going down, goddamn it. It is what it is. So check this out, man. Me and my boy Guns, we've been extremely busy. Hey, man, them T-shirts is fucking hot, bro. I know if I don't get my T-shirt, you will not make the trip. I'm just letting you know right now, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if I don't get my T-shirt, you will not make the trip, man. So you need to work that out, man, and get it together. ASAP or dapper. All right, so you already got me. There it is there. All right, so what you been up to, bro?
Man, I had to bury your brother last week. Like, it was weird because you know how when you ride with somebody and they do different stuff. Like, he always was the guy that you never would hear about. He always was the guy that never would say nothing. And all of a sudden, he's in the front of the pictures. All of a sudden, he's at the front of the pack. So it was weird. You know, me and him just chopped it up, man, for probably about an hour, just sitting out there laughing at everybody. And, you know, last words that I actually heard from him, he said to me was, "Hey, man, I'm going to be here. I want to spend some more time, come by the house. We just going to chop it up." I left that night, like by 9 o'clock to get back so I could take care of some stuff for the next day. And got a call about 1 o'clock, man, said he went off the road and passed away. So we just was preparing that whole thing the whole week, man. Just a lot of stress. It was.
Let me ask you this though. Let me ask you a personal question. How do you deal with that, knowing that you just talked to somebody, man, and then you get that phone call? I mean,
man, look, I was asleep, and all of a sudden I get a call, and I can't see the name, but I'm looking at it. It looked like some Chinese shit, and I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here! These motherfuckers calling me. So then they called again. Then by the third time, I looked at it and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, that's one of the old ladies. So then I called her back and I heard her crying. I thought it was I thought it was her husband. And then she told me about it, and I was just like, it's hard because it's surreal. And you know, it's like when you realize this is a part of your life, this is what we do. And every time we get on the bikes, that's a chance that we take. That's just how it is. Like I told his family, you know, at his services, I said the whole concept of this life is this is what we love to do. And us perishing or us dying in this fact, I know it may not be a condolences for you guys, and you guys don't feel nothing about it, but for us, that's the greatest thing in life is to die on that road. I said, because we died loving what we did. And that's just how it is. I mean, you know, and a lot of people don't get that. You know, I try to explain that. You guys are not going to understand this analogy, but for us, that's an honor to down the road because that's what we love to do. And I said, until you get on that road and feel that wind, you ain't gonna understand what I'm talking about.
All right, well, there it is there, man. So for me, man, I've been extremely busy, man, with everything. I launched my book, Doing Life on Twos. If you guys haven't had a chance to check that out on Amazon, my publisher ordered me 100 books. They haven't come yet. I'll be doing actually signing books with personal messages in them and mailing them if you want them. But if right now, if you want to grab you one off Amazon, you can. That with the tow service, man, I've been extremely busy with that. Plus, we're trying to start another venture. And then just even with the podcast, some of the regulations and rules have changed, and I've been dealing with that, paying the different fees and fines. And man, when I tell you it's a lot, brother, it is a whole lot. It's a super lot. But at the end of the day, I'm blessed. I'm here. You know, I'm gonna work it out. I'm gonna get past it. I'm gonna do what I got to do. So it is, man. It just is what it is. But we here. So today's topic, ladies and gentlemen, I know y'all couldn't wait. We, you know, we put it out there early enough to get all the questions and stuff and all the secret private messages. You know, everybody. So who you talking about? Who you talking about? You're gonna see. Yeah, you're gonna get a chance to go over all this. We're gonna explain things from the beginning to where it is now. So just give us time to bear with us. We put it together, and it is what it is. So what I want y'all to know is MC 101 that is MC 101, the man you're looking at right there, Two Guns. He started this, and we'll get into why he started MC 101. Coming together with me, FHO broadens the platform. He trusts me with the information to put it out there. He believes what I stand on. A lot of people don't like what I stand on, but hey, it is what it is. But Guns trusts me and believes what I stand on. And because of that, we share knowledge, you know, and I do my research and we share knowledge. And he allows me to be on this platform and to teach and to bring the word and to to do the thing like that. So it's an honor for me to be on MC 101. It's an honor for me to be side by side with this man right here, to be talking about any of this stuff. I stay in my lane as far as the 99%ers and independent. I am an independent writer now with an independent movement, FHOMA. So people say, well, how can you speak on MC? I done been an MC. I done been in one of the coldest MCs. I done been, and I'm, even though I'm not in any MC, I'm in all of the top 5 MCs. I'm in it. I'm a member. I'm an unofficial member. So that's how I can speak on MC stuff. 1% stuff I don't speak on. I go to the limits that I can, and then I try to stop right there because it's a very thin line. But that's what he can speak on. He has been a 1%er OMC for some of the biggest, one of the biggest clubs out there, one of the biggest MC clubs out there, and is now part of one of the biggest clubs out there. So I just want to get that history. If this is your first time tuning in to MC 101, that's what it is. My man, 2 Guns and me. And that's what we're going to talk about. So in the beginning, there was a page called Sucka Free MC. Where did the name come from? Let's start with that.
Let me get back in because I'm trying to get my links up or whatever it is to make sure that we squared away. So let me pull down some stuff like this because I want to make sure that we got the links up.
Well, we definitely up on the YouTube. The YouTube is up. FHO Atlanta.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we live too because everybody's been in the process of making sure we on live. So it looked like we get to go on the live. We good to go. So the start of it. Just so y'all, and I want to start like this. I'm going to start it out like this. And it's going to be my disclaimer for everybody that's been a part of a page that started out as what was called Sucka Free MC. So all the writers and everybody that has been on that page since its inception, every one of those guys that I knew from 2013 to when I left for about 2017, every one of those dudes, they was about the same thing I was, a platform that allowed them to be able to educate and teach. And it gave them an option for them to be able to do that and really kind of have their voice heard. So that was one of the general things that I looked at in terms of a blessing to be able to actually come to this, because like I've told everybody that's been on this page, know me, I never felt like that was the avenue that you should do. I always believe you ain't learning shit until you get on that street and put it on a slab. And that's just how it is. But when I looked at the overall picture of talking to 1 or 2 people versus talking to 100 people, that was the separation. And that was what kind of drew me to that. So for all those guys that been a part of this page, for the longest time, they all had this in their hearts. So don't look at the guys that's been writing in the pages as the issue and the problem. The problem didn't surface from that. The problem surfaced from something else that became what I've addressed and I've talked about, and that's false prophets. And that is people that will lie and they will come up with all different types of things so that their message can be presented, but in their message, there's ulterior motives. And so that's when I address a false prophet, is somebody that will tell you about something and they'll talk to you about this and it'll sound good, but there's an interior motive, the reason why they're doing what they're doing.
Okay, but stop right there. Not to cut you off, but stop right there. The name Sucka Free MC. When that name hit the Facebook airwaves, as they say, the social media airwaves, the name was just it was the shit. It was a beautiful thing because at that time nobody wanted to be a sucker on the MC set. So where did the name come from?
Absolutely. So it was invented. It was started by Preach from which his name is Amir. I don't know his last name, but his name's Amir. But he literally started Sucka Free MC. He made it up as Sucka Free MC. And like you said, when it hit, it was something I was like, okay, yeah, that's understandable because it was this. So now understand, I don't want to even make this out to be as a negative. It's a fucking marketing genius that this person is. So that's what I figured out and I found out. Now, so how I came about was about 2013. There was it was Black Bike Week, and during that Black Bike Week, there was an event that was held, and the guy that had passed away about 2 years ago, they had threw an annual event, and all the proceeds went to the MC. None of them went back to the family. So I came on there and I wrote something, and he reached out and said, yo, love what you wrote. Like for you to write for the page, this and this and that. So that's kind of the essence of how this started with me in terms of Sucka Free MC. And that's where Preach developed this concept of Sucka Free MC. Now, understand the background of what he was and understand the background of Sucka Free MC. Sucka Free MC was started as a marketing concept of, can I sell or can I create a page that motorcycle enthusiasts will gravitate to in the concept of being able to profit from the use of the page. So
stop right there. Stop. Okay. I'm gonna be stopping you because I want to get this shit. I want to get this shit out. Okay. So Preach, Emmanuel, what you say his name is? Emmanuel?
Emir Levine or something like that.
So Preach, better known as Amir to his mama and them.
His mama and them.
As a professor, this is what he does. He does marketing.
He was a professor at New York University, and he would teach marketing to other students. Yeah, absolutely.
I got you. Okay, so he marketing. Marketing is
one quick note. So you guys understand this. This is not rumor. This is not innuendo. This is not, well, somebody's baby mama told somebody's baby mama they heard from somebody's baby mama. This is factual, evidential concepts in terms of there's pages out there, there's pictures out there, there's information out there. This is 100% undeniable that this is him. He was a New York University professor, and he was teaching a course in marketing, and this was how Sucka Free MC was developed.
All right, so let me break it down. Let me break it down. So you got Amir. He creates his name Preach. He says, hey, I'm going to create a marketing strategy to present to the motorcycle community and make money.
Absolutely. Not even a question.
And so Sucka Free MC was never started or created for the enlightenment or the education of the black bike set or the bike set.
Well, let's talk about. I'm gonna touch that real fast, and here's the issue, the problems that I always had with the platform and what was going on was I felt like Preach was the Kanye West back in that day.
Oh Lord, don't say that. Oh Lord.
I'm being real. I'm just being a hood with it because he would always shit on the black bike set, but yet he was like, yo, the white bike set is doing it the right way, but the black bike set is fucking it up. And I'm like sitting there like, well, you understand that on both sides of the track, and I would always say that, on both sides of the track, on urban and the white side, they doing fucked up shit. It's not just based on one genre of the motorcycle set. So that's the reason why it was like kind of a joking concept. I used to be like, man, you like Kanye West in motherfucking MC world. You know?
Okay, so let me say this. So here it is, a guy who's a marketing professor creates a motorcycle a marketing tool. Number one goal is to make money. Let me ask you this. When he started Sucka Free MC, was he even in the MC or did he even have a motorcycle?
So he was in the MC when he started Sucka Free MC. So this was where he started to gain some knowledge and started to gain some information. Now, again, these are deniable facts. I've actually been on phones with people and talked to them prior to him joining this one club, his first club that he was legitimately in. He prospected for it. Don't know how long he prospected for. He was only in that club for less than a year. I think it was like 8 months, if I ain't mistaken. But he had maybe a year and a half on the MC set. And he's out there preaching about tradition and protocol. Never was. Now, when I tell you that he didn't have a motorcycle, he did not have a motorcycle. Guys that was raised with him in Staten Island and raised around New York called me up and said, yo, your boy that you guys is hailing as Preach is a fraud. And that's where Sucka Free MC came out. And if you go to Fuck Sucka Free MC, you will see they address this in post and put him on blast. And when I saw I was like, whoa.
Not to cut you off, but one time I did something. Me and Greg Street did something. With, I had a title on my vest, and he came after me. I mean, whoever, I believe it was Preach, whatever. But it was on the Sucka Free MC, and they came after me, and I hit him with, well, it's mighty funny. Number one, that we don't really know who you are. Number two, I've never seen you on a motorcycle anywhere. You know, the whole 9 yards. I said, so when you a person who has proven to be on the ground, proven to hit the pavement, proven to hit these state lines, proven to show love and participate in the NC lifestyle, there's certain things that you can get away with. You know, if you make a mistake, it is what it is. But you, and at this time, this would turn me all the way off of Sucka Free MC, was because, again, it just seemed like you were waiting in the cut to bounce on people's mistakes and to bounce on people's hard fall or not lack of knowledge, the whole 9 yards. So my thing of it is, yeah. So my thing of it is,
I stepped away.
So listen, let me say. So my thing of it is that here it is, ladies and gentlemen. You got a dude who never was into motorcycling, created a marketing tool, Sucka Free MC, to make money, who did not have a motorcycle, to I guess to help get more marketing and to validate the marketing side of it, joins the MC. Yeah, joins the MC.
Yeah. And then got
joins the MC, and then created this big old thing. So how do you come about with it? How do you get it? You said you wrote something and he got at you. He
got at me. So like when he first came on, I started writing some little things. But again, you guys got to understand, I wasn't really. It's here. I got the gift of gab. I can spit this all day. But when it comes to writing, look, there they are. Like look, I'm not good at that shit, man, and that's just how it is. So when I was able to watch him, like, because we would talk for like 2-3 hours, and all of a sudden, a couple of days later, I would see a post, and the post was talking about what we was talking about. And so I was like, wait a minute, that was what we was just addressing and talking about the other day. And he writing my words, and he's putting it on his name. But here's where it was at. At that time, I said, you know what? I'm not even going to stress on that, because my word is being put out there, and what I felt like I wanted to share with the world may not have been something that I could have wrote and put that down on paper, because I wasn't gifted like that. It took a long time for me to be able to go in, do writing. I took classes to be a better writer. And that was kind of how I came about with Sucka Free MC. Now, to understand how it came about 6 months into Sucka Free MC, I got a phone call. What he was addressing was he was trying to establish this marketing thing so he could sell Sucka Free MC to another company. So he wanted to get to about 10,000 members, and then he wanted to start shopping Sucka Free MC. I put this on the Dead Homies. I put it on the Dead Homies. Anybody know me know how I feel about that. About 10,000 members, he wanted to do it, and it failed. So then he called me up one day. We was probably at about 20,000 members. We were starting to pick up steam. And he was like, look, I got this deal set up. I want you to come to Milwaukee, and I want you to talk to these executives for Harley Davidson. And me and you, we just gonna go around to different Harley Davidsons, and we gonna basically preach about this stuff. And I was like, the fuck I am. And I was just like, nah, bro, I'm not doing that. And I told him at that time, I said, anything you're doing that has to do with making money off of Sucka Free MC or making money off of the people's back, I don't want a part of it. I don't want to have any fucking thing to be with it. And the same time frame was when the shirts came out. And so you guys understand, all that merchandise and everything that you guys have bought from Sucka Free MC, all of that shit right there has went into one person's pocket. So you understand, one person's pocket. It don't cost any money to run the page. It don't cost any money to set the page up. All that money went to buy shirts. The other proceeds went to in the one person's pocket, because I told her from the start that I would not accept any money for anything addressed with that. He sent me a couple shirts, sent me a hoodie. Hey, it is what it is. You send them to me. It is what it is. But I told him from the start, I'm not going to accept any money from anything, any proceeds that have to do with that. Because he was like, look, I'll give you, 10% of all the income that comes in from Sucka Free MC. And that at the same time frame was when he had to step away from his club, because his club had told him at that time, you either cut fucking Sucka Free MC out or you out the fucking nation. So that's when he gave me Sucka Free MC at about 2014, and I ran Sucka Free MC from 2014 to 2017. So that's how shit was.
So let's stop. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen, because this the bullshit. And I tell you guys this always. I tell you guys this all the time. You better know who the fuck you listening to, and you better know who the fuck you taking advice from, and who is out here. Understand this. There's certain people out here in the game that are validated, as what we call in the hood when you validate. So he's validated. You know what I'm saying? He, you know, OG status validated. And then there's certain people who can talk a good game. You feel what I'm saying? Apparently, Preach was one of those people that could talk a good game because he had a motive. He had a whole mission in mind. His whole mission was to get paid. He saw an avenue, the motorcycle set, the motorcycle community, bam, 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 came up with a brilliant name, a brilliant hook, catchphrase, the whole 9 yards, boom, and set off to get paid. My argument with the motorcycle community is this, is that the people that you see and the people that you don't see, because there's a lot of people that's riding motorcycles that are not on social media, and a lot of people doing big things that are not on social media, but the ones that you do see, why is it that when we give you guys advice or we tell you guys something, you know, it's not taken as serious as when, you know, a person like Preach who had no prior history to motorcycling, no background in it, was not in the club, was not any of that. You feel what I'm saying? But started a whole entire movement, and nobody questioned, like, damn, why I don't ever see this cat nowhere on the ground, or why I don't ever see this cat, you know, with his nation, or whatever, whoever, because he ended up joining the motorcycle set to validate the information, or to validate the page, to make it, to get more meat, so that, like GUNZ said, because his mission was to sell a page.
He had no other choice. He had to do that because he had no other choice, because how can you be credible? So to give y'all understanding how it was, I found out that he was down in Atlanta at he was at a speakers convention for what's the name of the damn pro convention?
Yeah, PRO, yeah.
All of a sudden he at the pro convention. I'm like, yo, you at the pro convention? Okay, shit. You know, damn. Yeah, he drove down there. Next thing you know, I'm talking to him on the phone. He in Arizona 2 days later. And wait a minute, you on a sports team? And you got to Arizona in 2 days? Wow, that's a record. That's a fucking record. And you're a better rider than me. So this is when, so y'all understand, this is when everything kind of came to light with me. And I would say by 2015, I'll apologize to the MC community for not bringing this to the surface, because there were so many times. Y'all don't understand, 5 years. I mean, legitimately 5 years, it's been on my neck. It's been on my head. I felt ashamed of myself because I always talk about the MC community and how I feel about the MC community. I had agreements with other people on the page that I wouldn't flame the page because they would lose the platform. And I felt like, you know, man, this is something that's hurting me. But when I got that phone call from the guy from Arizona that he was sat down with and hung out with, and he told me that he flew in, he gave him a bike, and he posted a picture and wrote a story about how he had rode. And he
wait. So you telling me he went so far as to lie about his miles?
He basically said he rode out to Arizona to meet up with this guy, blah, 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 blah. Come to find out, when I talked to the dude, he said, yeah, I let him borrow the bike. And we went and rode around the area and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, so that's when the whole thing with Fuck Sucka Free MC and this guy all kind of came into the point where I started to question what the fuck was going on, because the lies started to not make any sense. And then I'm gonna let my man come on. You know, I tell Weasel, man, you can jump in, you can call whenever you want to. But that's when he came to me and said, yo, I'm just gonna tell you, your man, I've been on the set. I know the set. This is my set. This is my shit up here. PA, Jersey, New York. He been on that set. So when he tell me that he ain't never heard of somebody, and he tell me that he don't know who this is, I believe him because I know he been on the set. But it was even his people on All Riders Radio that was flaming me, because he was on All Riders Radio for about 2 episodes, and his people said, you a prospect in the nation. So your ass shouldn't be having a conversation about 1% shit because you ain't fucking a 1%er. And they cut his ass on the fucking, they cut him out of that. And when they cut him out of it, he started doing shots, taking shots at the club and taking shots at the nation on Sucka Free MC. And that's when I had to go to him and tell him that whole Shazam shit that you doing, motherfuckers know it's you. They know you Shazam. So if you out here throwing shots at people, they calling me saying, get your boy. You know what I mean? And that's how shit was, because he was utilizing that platform. One, when it started to come apart for him, he needed to validate the fact that he was still a part of that. And that's the reason why he started surrounding himself with 1%ers like me, and he used us. Man, I'm gonna tell you, the Wolf of the MC set right there, 100%. You know, they said the Wolf of Wall Street, this is the Wolf of the MC set. He came on and he was able to actually utilize that. Now, I didn't find out about this until 2 years after I was actually a part of it, because I didn't want to believe the lies of what was going on. But it wasn't until my man Weasel told me that I started to realize, like, yo, then I started to see all the shit that was going on behind the scenes. And I started to question what the fuck was going on, because up until that time frame, and I apologize in MC community, up until that time frame, it was an avenue for me to get the shit off my chest that I needed to get off my chest.
Okay, but so here we are now. Okay, because I'm gonna keep it real with you. You know me, me and you, we 100. If we got to go box about this question, we do. But how do you? Because see, so now here it is. Now you're telling us, all right, this guy's a fraud. This is what it is. And by you knowing this, and by you kind of, I ain't gonna say condoning it, but by you accepting it, yeah, by you accepting it,
I did it.
So how do we fuck with guns? How do we believe anything that guns say? You understand what I'm saying?
That's the one thing where I always tell people, and I joke about this, I say my ethics come into play, and sometimes my ethics fuck me up. They do. Because what I looked at was, I made an agreement with the man, and I addressed with the man that I would not have anything to say about Sucka Free MC, because he knew that he knew I could take the page down at the time when the page was actually suffering. And he said, look, Guns, this is where it's at. We here, the rest of the guys is here. Like, you know, Sucka Free MC is not preach. Sucka Free MC is all the guys that write to this page. And if we do that, if you do what you do, then it's gonna fuck us up. And we just wanna be, we still wanna be able to do this, and we still wanna be able to write. And I told him, I said, look, here's the deal. Check your boy, make sure he keeps his name, you know, keep my name out of his mouth, and I will hold my part of this. I said, but the second he tries to start flaming me, I said, I'm gonna let it go. And when I let it go, it's gonna be ugly, because the truth is gonna come out. See, this is not, I'm not making shit up. This is just factual shit that's been on my neck and it's been on my head for 5 years. It's haunted me because I've wanted to say something about this. I've wanted to address this. I wanted to put this out there. I knew coming out here saying this to everybody and telling everybody about this, that potentially people would look at me and say, yo, you was party to this. You was the one that created this and you caused this. And I'll take that. I'll put that load on my back, because the way I address it was, I made a promise to a man and I'll always keep my promise. Regardless of how it is, ethically, that's how I deal with business and that's how I do business. So judge me how people want to judge me on that. I'll take that. I accept how people want to judge me. But what I look at it as, if I make you a promise, I'm gonna keep my promise. Until your promise don't mean nothing to me no more, and then I gotta have something to say about it. Can't hear you, man.
Okay, I'm sorry. Here we go. We got a caller. I'm gonna bring this caller in, a very important caller that's gonna help validate some of this stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what I want you guys to understand. Okay, some of us, well, the ones that do this shit for the love of motorcycling, we do this shit for the love of motorcycling. Yes, I do this shit for the love of motorcycling, and I do, you know, make money from it. But all the money that I make goes back into the studio. If you've ever been in this studio, anybody will tell you that, oh, he ain't fucking off your money.
You got 10 racks in that studio. Easy.
Yeah. So yeah, he ain't buying tennis shoes with your money. He's not doing none of that. It's not that for me. For me, I just try to make sure that I have the best equipment possible to present to what I want to present. But what I'm telling y'all is this, and it's not just for this cat preach, it's for everybody. You guys have to start as human beings, as grown men and grown women. You guys have to start questioning the ethics and the morals and the purpose behind these people that are giving you this information. Because again, a lot of people are out here for the data boy or for the attention or for the recognition or whatever it is that you wanted, that they're seeking, the attention, whatever it is that they're seeking. And then some of us, like myself, believe in this motorcycle community. I believe in what it stands for. I believe I've met people. I've been places. I've seen things. I've done things. I rode my motorcycle to places that I've never had a clue because of this motorcycle, and I fucking love it. And when I'm preaching and teaching, I want you to fucking love it. But you can't preach and teach motorcycling if you never get out there a motherfucking motorcycle. Period.
Yeah.
You gotta be on you gotta be on the ground. So I'm gonna bring this caller in. Caller, state your name, where you calling from, and let's get to the business.
Fellas, what's up, bro? It's OG Weasel, man. How your brothers feeling, man?
Man, what's up, Weez? What's happening, baby?
Everything is good, man. Just keeping my ear to the ground, man. Enjoying this lifestyle of ours.
That part right there. So Weasel, what do you want to come in at? What do you want to start with? What do you want to say?
Yeah, I wouldn't talk neutral, man, because I ain't got no beef with nobody. But let me tell you, man, I love what we do in this lifestyle of ours, man. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, I like to share a mindset with people sometimes about, you know, what we do here. All right, and the thing is, man, is one thing. We have a big set, but it's a small set. And when I say that, I mean that I don't care if you in Jersey or you in Cali. If you live in this lifestyle, people are going to know you. And if you're doing what you got to do, bros are going to know you. Period. Contrary to what you think, it is what it is, man. Because we all move in the same circles. We all shakers and movers. And you got cats that is going to be in that top. I always say, man, you got that top 50 of bros that everybody's going to know, and then you're going to have regular cats that's moving around. Now, with that in mind, man, apply that to the knowledge that you're getting. You know what I'm saying? You can't listen to, and I'm not down to nobody. This is just a general statement, but meaning that when you read, the set is thirsty for knowledge. I don't know where all this shit came from. Going back 20, 30 years ago, like, we wasn't thinking about where the knowledge, you know, we wasn't thinking about like protocol and knowledge. We just did what we did as bikers, and we kept it moving. But somehow within the last 10 years, the protocol thing became good. I mean, you know, it is what it is. It became a big thing, and cats want to know all this protocol stuff. The thing is, man, if you thirst in that knowledge, like you said, Big Sal, you have to know your source, because a lot of people are talking and they haven't earned their voice. And this is not geared at nobody. This is just general knowledge that we got cats out here on platforms that's giving it to others. And the thing is, if I don't know you, or somebody that knows you, like you said, man, you can't believe everything you hear, because if you don't know shit, anything I tell you, you're going to take it and run with it and pass it on to the next brother. And that's what's happening, man, is that cat is automatically assuming, well, you know what, you got a platform, this cat right here got to know, and that's what it is. And that's what's happening with all these people that's slowly rising up in the community. And what happens, calls get made. Like GUNZ said, people talking. Sometimes, you know, you can be in the region and be like, yo, man, who's this cat? And what happens, a lot of times you got people that's rising up that shouldn't be rising up. And the thing is, this is happening all over the place. And now you in essence have put somebody on the platform that's not worthy of it. And this is not geared toward nobody. This is a general statement that cats got platforms that's not worthy on that. And they're passing on things that they got third hand or fourth hand, and they haven't really been on the ground. And there's nothing like being on the ground. When you're on the ground, bro, let me tell you something. There's nothing like first hand knowledge. You know, I'm not nobody, but the thing is, I've gravitated through the lifestyle enough that I've met some bros and done some things and been some places, and I can pass on 2 or 3 nuggets to the brothers as I get them. Now, the thing is, if you're listening to cats, man, you should want to know, who is this dude? And if you got to make that phone call to a brother that you do know that's about that life, then do your own due diligence, because otherwise you'll be caught up in some bullshit. And nobody knows what you're learning. What are you learning? Is it really first-hand knowledge, or is it just bullshit?
Yeah.
Only thing you know is what you're being told. And the thing is, as a biker, Hills from back in the days when All Riders Radio used to say, know better, do better. You know what I'm saying? If you know there's bullshit out there, then you need to learn to validate what you're doing, how you're doing it, and where your knowledge is coming from, because everything that you hear isn't really truly knowledge. It's just something that somebody knows that they're passing on. I can go to YouTube right now, or I can go to Google and Google protocol. It's out there.
Yeah.
It's out there. There's books out there, there's videos, there's everything, and I can bring it back to you and be like, yo, yeah, I'm the new protocol guy, this and that. The thing is, I'm selling you me. As a biker, I'm selling you me. All of a sudden, if I tell you that I know this, all thing you know is that I know it, and I'm confident enough to tell you that I know it and believe in myself, you're gonna be like, yo, that's Weasel, man. Yeah, he know that shit. And that's what's happening right now, man. We're getting a lot of that going on in the set.
Yeah.
On different platforms. And if you can look at the book now, man, you've seen a lot of platforms where cats is just talking.
Yeah.
And that's just it's a problem in this set that I would say needs to be addressed, but as a brother, you need to look at what you're doing and what your sources of information are.
Yes. I mean, so the biggest thing that I address, and people was asking me, well, why do you want to say this now? Why do you want to come out with it now? What does it mean to you right now? And what it means is, eventually I have to bury that hatchet in my heart that I failed the MC community because I didn't address this and I didn't bring this out. But there has to be a time, and I've been taking these little steps in my writing about false prophets and about people that are in this for money only. And that's where the separation in the line comes, because I want to tell you this. At no time did I ever come into this lifestyle about making money. It was never about that. It was always about me just giving back what I was given. And I'll tell anybody that anytime they talk to me is, I'm just giving back what I was given. But when it gets to the point where marketing, merchandise, people selling the MC community, and then turning around and you talking shit about Chris Rock, or not Chris Brown, or other motherfuckers, you posting up that they promoting the deaf head and all the rest of the shit, but you talking shit about them, but you're doing the same fucking thing. You're making money off of teaching people about protocol and tradition. So if it's a price tag to that, then why are we paying the price tag? Just go back to what the fuck we was doing and get your ass out there on the fucking slab and roll. And that's where I was like, when it came down to the head and when everything came down to it was, and the reason why I left was because I couldn't live the fucking lie anymore for myself. And that was why I stepped away and said it was enough for me and I had to step away. And when I stepped away, that's when I made the promise. I made a devil's promise to basically just, keep it to myself and not make it, not just blow Sucka Free MC up. And it is what it is on that. But what I come back to is, like what Weasel's trying to tell you guys, is there's a lot of false prophets out there. There's a lot of people out there that all they got to do is Wikipedia. All they do is Google. They could just go on and read something and all of a sudden they subject matter experts. But you're going to know, see, that's what you guys don't get. OGs know OGs. So you can front all you want to, you can talk shit all you want to. But when you come in front of some OGs, some motherfuckers that been on the slab, and you try to run your mouth to them, they're going to check your ass because they're going to be like, nah, motherfucker, you know what the fuck you talking about. And that's where all of a sudden, when he came back and he was talking about this, that, MC 101, I mean, he was talking about Sucka Free MC and blah, 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 all that shit about this is how protocol and tradition is supposed to be. And the OGs was like, the fuck is you talking about? That's not how we did shit back in the day. You looking at what you doing right now and shit that's going on right now, but that's not shit that we did back in 1970, 1960. So maybe you need to get a better education of what the fuck you was doing, because that ain't what we was doing back in those days. There was no fucking protocol and tradition back in those days. Motherfuckers was doing what the fuck they wanted to do. And that's how shit was. So now, as the 80s came out, we saw a lot of conflict, issues, and problems. And so a lot of guys started trying to teach guys, like, look, man, this is how you do it so we can protect the set. This is how you do it so the cops don't run up on us. This is how you do it so we don't have no problems and issues and fights. So that's just kind of how it is. So when you go back to it, you say, so where tradition and protocol came about? Well, tradition and protocol came about is trying to educate people about some of the little small details that you're going to learn on the road, because nothing else is going to be able to give you that knowledge except being on the fucking road. But you can't, and I'm gonna say this to you guys, taking my fucking glasses off. You cannot fucking talk about being on the fucking road and about how you were talking about tradition, protocol, all the rest of that bullshit that you talking. Cannot fucking say that if you've never been on the fucking road. Can't do it because you were a false motherfucker and you're a false prophet. You're talking about shit you have absolutely no fucking clue, you have no understanding and knowledge about. Until you've been in 104-degree weather, you don't know about fucking heat. You don't know about blister birds. You don't know about that shit. So if your ass is flying into fucking Arizona and renting bikes, that's not fucking MC 101. That's not fucking sucker free MC. That's not fucking MC. That's you being a false fucking prophet and you basically trying to sell the MC fucking community and trying to make a profit off of it. And trust me when I tell you, I'm talking maybe 50 to 100 G's, maybe even more of that fucking merchandise has went into one fucking person's pocket. And shit else went to anybody else. And what it comes down to is he sold the fucking MC community out. And that's where it's at. So motherfuckers will be mad all they want to. Motherfuckers will be whatever it is. I'm going to tell you this. There wasn't one of those fucking guys that was on that page with me. Writers that was on that page. Guys that were
I knew coming out here saying this.
They weren't. They were the guys that had nothing but love and they was there trying to do or trying to make a difference. And that's what it's all about. So that's all I got to say about that. I can't hear you.
Weasel, give some history about who you are, just in case some of the people might not know who you are.
Man, that motherfucker.
Yeah, I've been riding like 3 weeks. I've been riding like 3 weeks, bro. Real. Seriously, man, I've been on the set like 30-some years, man. I've been through the motions of gravitating through the levels of the set. Moved around probably a few times across the states, man, going back and forth coast to coast, kind of shaking hands with different brothers, dealing with different nations and everything. Speaking on different platforms from the proc to just different things, man. To me, man, it's been personal because what we got to realize, man, is that this shit is ours. So when I say that, I'm talking about the set. The set is ours. So like Gun said, man, you have to protect what you love because this shit can't let you back. And a lot of cats they can't understand that mentality, man. So the thing is, whatever I've given over the years, man, be it what things that I've gotten from other brothers along the way on my journeys, I gave it back. And it didn't come at $1. I didn't want nothing from you. If you gave me a room, it was like, yo, man, you sure that's good? Because I didn't want to take back. I didn't feel that I wanted something in return for what I was giving you. And I'm not saying nothing about nobody. This is just me as a brother. You know what I'm saying? Because the way I look at it, the more I give to the community is the more I enjoy. Because when I go out there, it's going to be right. And a lot of people don't understand that. When you're moving around on the set, it makes a difference about the experience that you get and the brothers that you're around. It makes a difference, man. So over 30 years, man, I've just been kind of just living this, man, and enjoying it and slowly just gravitating through things and just elevating myself, man, because it's been a personal thirst. And I tell cats each year, you should assess yourself in the lifestyle to see where you stand. Because I don't talk, if I don't know shit, if I haven't done it firsthand or haven't been there, or no brothers that I know have been there firsthand, I ain't saying shit about that. And that equates to protocol or down to the ride itself.
Curry,
I will say this right now. Real quick, I'm gonna say this to you, even to you, Big Sal. I was like, who the fuck is this nigga, man? Like, I want to keep it real, bro. At first, man, I'm like, yo, Big Sal, who the fuck is this nigga, man? So I'm like, all right, I'm doing shows and stuff. I'm like, all right. So, like I said earlier, brothers talk. I just wanted to know nothing against you, bro. Yeah. But it was just like, okay, this brother's on the set, he's doing this and he's doing that. And after, like, just looking around and seeing what you were doing and seeing that, yo, actually, this cat is on the ground. I love to hear that, man, because that's what it's about. When a brother's talking and you can look at him and see that he's living it, man, like, I can respect your voice because I know that you've been on the ground and that you're doing what bikers do. And that's what it's about.
But my thing, Weasel, for me, again, I didn't choose this podcast, this platform, the preaching and teaching, this shit chose me, hands down. But more importantly, what I try to do is I do my research. I reach out to the OGs. Not just via telephone or email. I pull up. Period. If you ask it from Outkast to Wheels to Sis, I don't give a damn. If the knowledge is over there, I'm pulling up. I'm not afraid of nobody, no human being or nothing. So if the worst thing you can tell me is, hey, you're not wanting here, you got to leave. Not a problem, bro. No, I'm good with that. So that's the cold thing about when you seeking this knowledge. You have to get out there and get on the ground. You got to pull up. You got to be able to buy OG that beer in the corner. Hey, OG, what you drinking, man? Let me get you something to drink, and then chop it up and get the knowledge. You can't get it sitting behind this desk, sitting in front of these cameras, and reading the stuff somebody done sent you, or reading the email, or watching somebody else's story like some of these other people do. They watch somebody else's YouTube story, and then they come back and do their YouTube story based off somebody else's YouTube story.
Oh, man, yo, motherfuckers be killing me with that, man. You just be like, can I get a plagiarism motherfucking mark or something? Shit, man.
Hey, so Curry Tipton said, keep in mind let me say this real quick though. Let me read this. Who was Curry Tipton? Curry Tipton said, keep in mind that the page originally wasn't about Preach. It was about the message pushed by the writers. It wasn't until recently that Preach started pushing his own agenda that ruined the page.
Okay, so I want to talk about this now. So me and Curry Tipton, we go back damn near to the start of this. So me and him know each other. Like, we know each other. I'm rest in peace, rest in heaven with his brother. So we've had history. So we know each other. So he was there at the beginning. So originally the page was, it was a small little write-up about that he was doing. When I came in, it was like me and two other people that was writing. And then it became more about writers. So by 2000, I would say June, July of 2013, we had shifted Sucka Free MC away from Preach. And it was more about the writers. And that's what it was. We wanted to have our voices heard, and we wanted to kind of throw the information out there. And that's what, Curry, he was there at the beginning. So what I've kind of come to find out, people have been hitting me up, was, there's a couple, most of the writers that was a part of that. And just so you understand, the reason why you have so much turnover with Sucka Free MC, and the reason why so many writers leave Sucka Free MC, is only because of one specific reason, and that's the agenda that's being pushed. The agenda that's being pushed is Urban Set is fucked up, and the white boys is doing it right. That's the agenda that's being fucking pushed, and that's the reason why a lot of guys are stepping away from it. And so when you look at it, you've got other pages. My man came up, and it's like Four for the Road. It's another page that's coming out, like MC 101. I'll promote it, MC 101, but it's Four for the Road. And he, kind of addressed the same thing, that they were former writers from Sucka Free MC that initially got there, and they just got tired of the agenda. They got tired of I hate to say it again, but the Kanye West of the MC world, of basically just kind of just putting down people. Now, so you understand the reason why I left Sucka Free MC, and I want you guys to understand this. I have always been about education. Never been about flaming. There's been some topics that somebody looks really stupid, and I might get on there and I might go in on them. That's just how it is. But I never was about that, because I always try to negotiate and try to work out. So you guys know this. Let's say this. You call me and I will take it off the page. Y'all remember that from Sucka Free MC, if you're a Sucka Free MC fan. If you call me and we address it, I'll take it off the page. Guess where that came from? Yours truly. Because it got to the point where I didn't want to be flaming clubs. It didn't make any sense. But that's the only thing that I could negotiate to say we would take it down. Until it got to the point where I said, enough is a fucking enough. We're going to stop flaming clubs. We're going to start educating motherfuckers about tradition and protocol. The reason why MC 101 came about, the reason why my page came about, was because I got tired of fucking flaming people. And that's what it was. Flaming people. So you guys understand what happens when you flame people. So a club is out there, their shit looks fucked up, and you flame them. So now all of a sudden you get, and I can tell you this from even seeing it, you get 1,100 fucking hits that day. You might get 1,200 to 1,500 new people that come to the page. If we did a post about Rough Riders, oh my God, that was at least 2,500 new people that came to the page. We made 50,000 based on flaming. The reason why they wanted that and the reason why it happened with 50,000 was because he wanted to get to 50,000 so he could preach. He could push that shit over to fucking sell it and say, here we are at 50,000. Who else on Facebook got 50,000? And this is how it is. And that's what we look at. And that was the marketing strategy of this whole page. I want to get back to that and understand what you guys are saying. This was a marketing strategy promoted by a marketing professional. Let's be honest. He developed a page for motorcycle enthusiasts with the ultimate goal of selling it. So that's what this page was about. So you can say what you want. That's what the fucking page was about. Sucka Free MC was not started to educate people. It was started so that he could make money. You don't believe me? Go to fuck Sucka Free MC and look back. There's a whole fucking article about him. You can contact those dudes. They will tell you the whole fucking story. And when you hear it from them, you will say, motherfucking GUNZ just said that shit the other fucking night, because I'm not going to sit here and lie about it. That's exactly what it was. What I want you guys to take from this, and what Weasel's trying to say to you, there's so many false prophets out there giving you education. There's so many people out there that can go to Google, Wikipedia, anything else and get information. There's so many people that can take a book, read a book, and relate that to their life. They can. It can. You have to start looking at what that person does. If that person is in your area and you don't never see them, sometimes you got to start questioning. I didn't, because I wasn't in those areas. But when I figured out and found out, well, shit, hold on. This motherfucker, some people telling me, and I hate to say it like this, Weasel was the one that told me. When he said it, I was just kind of like, wait a minute, if you don't know that motherfucker and you up there in New Jersey and New York, and you don't know him, then something's going on. He was the one that woke me up to some shit wasn't right. Shit wasn't done the right way. So what I want you guys to take from this, and the educational value that I want you guys to take from this, is sometimes you got to check the people that you see. Sometimes you got to check the people that's on these pages that's promoting this shit and talking about this shit. Sometimes you got to say, is this really the same guy that's promoting about MC lifestyle? Is he really living the MC lifestyle? Because I hate to say it, I'm going to say it like this. Big Sales out here, man, he told you. I done been to his house. I will guarantee you there is less than $10,000 worth of equipment that's in his house. There is money that's came out his pocket in order for him to be able to provide this service. You come to my house, I'm humble. Now, my driveway is long. Your ass might get shot coming to that motherfucker if you don't make a phone call. But the whole thing that comes down to it is, it's humble. I don't make money off of MC 101. I will never make money off of MC 101. I sold t-shirts to get some cameras so that I can give my life to people and get them an opportunity to see this is the travels and this is how we do it on the road. That's what we're trying to provide for you. But if it's an ultimate goal that you're going to put money in your pocket, you're going to sell this to look, he was going to sell it and make it into a documentary. A documentary. He wanted a documentary and have us go around with cameras on our backs talking about an MC lifestyle. Like, who the fuck does that? And now, understand, I was a 1%er at the time. So how the fuck am I going to be walking around with a fucking camera on my back? And I told him, I said, Priest, what the fuck is you talking about? Ain't no fucking way I'm going to do that. But that was the ultimate goal of this. This was what it was all about. Don't take my word for it. Go to fuck Sucka Free MC, look at that post, look at the things, do your research. And when you come back, you're going to say, wow, I didn't know that. There's people that I've had this conversation with. There's people that I've talked about this. I've had to get it off my chest to some people, and I've asked them not to say anything, to keep it to themselves. And they've respected that. I love them for it. But this is something that has always bothered me. It's always had issues with it. And it's something that I'm getting off my chest now after almost 3 years.
Wow. Well, again, at the end of the day, first off, my man Weasel, I thank you for coming on here and validating it and giving your perspective on it. Guns, I'm gonna tell you like this. I know you, brother. I know you're solid, and I know that it's real. But my mission for this podcast today, for this particular podcast, and I think my man Tebow said it best on Facebook. My man Tebow wrote a thing on Facebook. We got to stop accepting the frauds. We got to stop endorsing the frauds. We got to stop agreeing with the frauds, and we got to stop allowing them to be in our circle, because you got to understand this. No matter what you say, Guns, no matter what you say, and all of the other writers that were on there, for us to hear now that this guy was a fraud and he never did this, he never did that, well, it makes all of you, it just parlays. So in other words, if I know a person is a snitch and trying to set you up and I don't say nothing, then I might as well be the one setting you up.
Man, you got to pick your battles on that. And that was a battle that I picked with that, because a lot of guys that was on there, including people from my former nation, they was on there writing and they was giving their heart. I mean, they was putting their heart in. I was reading some of the stuff that they was promoting and they was pushing, and it hurt, because I knew the second that I came real with it, it would have shut. At that time, it would have shut Sucka Free MC down, because I was new leaving Sucka Free MC. And for me to promote that at that time, I don't know if the page could have survived. And I don't know, is it selfish? Am I being selfish because all of a sudden I was mad or I was pissed off? So a lot of things that went through my head back in that time frame, I made a choice whether I wanted to promote it, push it, and put it out there, or was I willing to let it play itself out and potentially it would come about? Because in all honesty, I thought the guys with Fuck Sucka Free MC was gonna take the page down, because they was putting out information that was body blows. I mean, it was look, I got on the phone with him. I said, hey man, let's talk, because you're throwing body blows. The information that they was putting out on that page, man, I'm talking about it was some deep Mike Tyson hit you with a body blow fucking shots, and it kept going. But the whole thing comes down to it, and I'll be man enough to say it is, maybe I should have stepped up and said something in 2017 when I left. But I would say it like this: if I had to go back and do it again, I would have did the same thing, because I knew the writers and the people that was there with me, that was in the trenches with me, the guys that was still by me, because we took a lot of shit on that page. We took a lot of shit from Priest. We took a lot of shit because he would go in there and take shots. And I was on the phone with 1%ers, outlaws, every fucking club in the book every day. Got to a point where I just got sick of it. And if I got to take the fall for that, if I got to take the process of that, that's fine, because those guys was able to continue to write, and they was continue to be able to give their message and share their message. I'll stand by that. I'll do the same fucking thing today, because it would have hurt them, and I'm not gonna hurt the mass to hurt one. That's just not me. I would never hurt the masses of people to hurt one. And that's something I will always live by. It's something that I will always deal with. But that's the shoulder I have to bear. And that's the shoulder I'll stand with. You can say what you want to say about it. You can have your feelings about it. I'm gonna love you, hate you, do whatever it is. But that's how I felt, and that's what I do.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing, bro.
Go ahead, Weasel.
All right, I just want to say, overall, man, what this is about, man, this is about knowledge, man. And the best advice I can give you as a brother is that don't be in a rush, and be humble to get this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cats is rushing and they gravitate into any and everything quick. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing like taking your time and use the book as a source, man. That's what cats are not doing, because you can follow brothers, man. You can see who the shakers and movers are and see who's doing what. Before I even hear what you have to say, man, I'm like, yo, how's this cat moving? how is this cat moving, man? Who is he associated with? You know what I'm saying? What is he doing along the way before he's looking to having his voice? And that's what we're not doing. A lot of people are just running to what's the latest and greatest. The set overall is very trendy. We like fads. We like fads. We like to follow the hotness. And if you're smart enough, what you'll notice is peaks and valleys. I mean, you got brothers that'll come up that'll be known for everything, they'll fade away. Then it'll be the next brother. But if you're smart about what's happening, man, you'll know, you know what? Let me link myself with some humble brothers that's doing this. And if you want to really get some true knowledge and get to the real source, yo, really watch the set. Watch the brothers that's out here, that's pounding, that's pure about what we're living. Because a lot of cats, man, some people have agendas, some people on ego trips. Everybody sometimes has their own little angle, man. And you, as a brother, you got to realize, man, it's up to you to determine where the realness is.
Hey, man, so y'all understand the reason why I fuck with Weasel is what you just heard. That's why I fuck with Weasel. Because if you didn't hear what he just heard, what he just said, man, that's just some real true shit right there. Boy.
All right, so
I saw some good. Hey, I saw a couple good posts, man. And I'll tell you what. Here's the deal. If you want to bring Preach on the page, hey, bring him on, and we can come on and have a conversation about this, and we can get a threesome. We can have a conversation about it. I tell you what. I'll come through fucking Atlanta. We'll do a live one with him, and I'll stop off in Atlanta, man. We could do a big live one, and we'll address that. So if he wanna address anything, so I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna tell you this like this, and I'm gonna put this out there. Y'all motherfuckers tell him this. Y'all motherfuckers put that shit on Preach. Come, call Big Sale, set the shit up, and let's get the shit squared away and let's get it talked about. Don't go on the fucking page, post no bullshit ass motherfucking bullshit. Don't post that shit. Come on the fucking page, get on the fucking video. Let's talk about what happened, and we'll see what the fuck really happened and what's going on. Because you can talk about what you want to do. You can go in there and you can do your shots, post up at Shazam and all the rest of that shit. But you can't lie about the lies that you fucking did, because your lies is already out there on Sucka Free MC. If any one of those dudes contact any one of those guys from Tarantino's, they will tell everything about your whole history. So you can't lie about who you are. You can't lie about what the fuck you did. The whole concept of it is, hey, Sal, get that shit together. I'll come to Atlanta. We'll put that shit together and have an understanding of this, so we don't need this in the MC community. Trust me when I tell you, the problem I have with the page, and the problem I've always had with the page, is it's always been about flaming people, and it's always been about shitting on the urban set. And that is not how it is. When you got a fucking diamond with a 26% on, and you talking shit about anything in this MC community, when you got a picture of your ass with a 26% diamond, explain that shit. Because if you got a picture of you wearing that shit, here's the crazy shit about it. You got a picture of him with that on that says no bike, no biker. How the fuck can you have something like that on when you got 6 months on the set?
I mean,
26%. 26%.
But how can you even teach or relate at 6 months?
Look, that's where I take fault in that. But I didn't start it, because Sucka Free MC was already going when I came about. It was already starting to trend. It was already starting to go. Weasel just said it. That's the problem with fucking social media, is Twitter. It's trending. That shit was trending. Man, that was a marketing fucking genius. Sucka Free MC, bam. Come on, is that the fucking catchphrase of the fucking night?
Yeah. I mean,
it's a fucking catchphrase, man. It's a killer catchphrase, man. It sucked people in, and all of a sudden, nobody wanted to be a Sucka Free MC. There was a time that we had a topic, Sucka Free MC, And it was posting, it was a daily post of somebody that was doing some stupid shit, backwards vest or whatever it was, about Sucka Free MC. And it was dedicated to not be a Sucka Free MC. People were so gravitated to that we would have 100, 200. I wrote a topic that ended up being the #1 post, like comments, views. I think it was like 5,000 views, 10,000. It was like 10,000 views, 5,000 comments. I mean, it was ridiculous. I wrote one, and it was a monster. But the whole thing to come down to was you would go to these topics and you sitting there looking at it, and you like, flame topic. So y'all understand? I wrote this the other day on my page, and people was like, whatever it is, all this and that. Flame topic. 200 comments, 500 comments, 1,000 comments. Knowledge about the Guardian Bell. Knowledge about the Guardian Bell. 100 views. That was it. But you start flaming a motherfucker for having their vest on a fucking on a tree, and that's like 10,000 comments, 20,000 views. That's what Sucka Free MC turned into. That's how you get from 2,000 when I got there to 50,000, actually almost 52,000 when I left. That's how you gain 50,000 people. It wasn't me that was burning people. It wasn't me that was out there promoting that shit. But every time somebody flamed somebody, or every time somebody talked about Rough Riders, or every time somebody talked about a backwards vest, we would legitimately get 250, 300, 500, 1,000 new requests onto the page. So I want you guys to understand this, and this is what I promote on my page, MC 101 Tradition and Protocol. Stop fucking worrying about flaming and about the excitement about shit that's going on in the MC community. Start learning about what it is to ride, what it is to be on the slab, what it is to educate yourself about what you need to do to be able to ride. Because a lot of people are not understanding that. They are looking for the excitement value versus the educational value. So they don't want to know about education. They want to know about the excitement. They want to know about what people are talking shit about. They want to know about me going after preach, because all of a sudden today I can write a topic and I might get 100 views, maybe 10 comments. The second I start talking about fucking preach and I'm gonna fucking burn down Sucka Free MC, crackheads. Fucking crackheads. Everybody want to hear about this shit. Everybody, and it's a long time coming. It's a long time coming. I feel you guys, because trust me when I tell you, Sale, there's a lot of people out there that have known this truth for a long time. They have kept their wits about them. They have not said anything. They've been respectful. They have not done it. But I'm going to tell you, there's a nation of people out there that know the truth. There's a nation of people out there that have the facts because they live the facts and they've been around the facts. I just posted one right now, like, because he knows, because he was there when the whole concept happened, everything happened. So when you address it and you look at it, we got to stop worrying about fucking excitement and start worrying about education, because that's what this shit is about. Not about fucking me flaming preach or me shutting down Sucka Free MC or all the rest of that shit. It's about me here educating you guys about what it takes to be on these slabs and loving this fucking lifestyle. Because if you're about excitement and all the rest of that shit, get the fuck off my page. I don't want you on there. I want people that want to be, I'd rather have one motherfucker that want to learn some shit than have 50,000 that don't want to learn shit, but they worried about excitement. That's what that's the message tonight, people. That's the message. All right?
Hey. Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, for me, the biggest thing when this message was brought to me, the whole thing for me was this, man, is that I jumped off Sucka Free MC. I got on it, and got off of it, because for me, like he said, the flaming, which we call Jones and people, always just looking for the negative and, having fun with the negative. Okay. But the biggest thing for me, man, was that I never saw this cat or these cats on the ground. I never pulled up nowhere, never were they, the whole 9 yards. And that's my thing. Okay. We have to start, and I try to present things in a grown folks manner. So I'm gonna say this, and this is no disrespect to nobody, but a person is only as great in the motorcycle community. You're only as great as your ride, as your riding. You're only as great as your riding skill. You can't have more knowledge than you have miles. You understand what I'm saying? You can't have more knowledge than you have. Your knowledge has to match your miles. Your miles have to match your knowledge. Your interaction, like Weasel said, you got the top 50. You got the top 50 names on the set when they ring out, and that's anywhere on any set, East Coast, West Coast, up top, north, down, south.
It don't matter.
It don't matter. These names ring. Hey, woo, oh yeah, we heard, oh boy, you know, whether you like them or not, whether you disagree with everything they say or not, those names are valid, period. And this is not to say that because your name is not valid that you don't motorcycle. But what I'm saying is the people that motorcycle, we know each other. We can't help but to know each other because we motorcycle. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what it is. But brother, I appreciate you coming on here. I appreciate my man Weasel calling in. And hey Weasel, I'm gonna take some calls from some other people to see what their opinion is.
No doubt.
All right. All right. So at this time, 424-242-2355. The phone line is open. If y'all want to ask Guns a question or get at him about something as far as this go, 424. Let me slow it down. 424-242-2355. Is the number to call. Go ahead.
Hey, my brother Whisper, man, he hit it on the set, man. I mean, it's like they do. It is about the excitement versus actual knowledge, man. And me and that brother, man, we sit down and we talk all the time, man. Very knowledgeable guy. He posts every once in a while. I try to get him out there, try to post a little more, but he's a young guy, thirsty. So that's what I love is young people that's in this that got 5 years in it, but they thirsty. They thirsty for that knowledge, and he's probably more knowledgeable than 99.9% of the 1%ers out there right now. I hate to say it, man, but shit. You know, he do like I do. He go out there and he want to know. So he asked those questions, man. That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good comment.
So
hey, I want to tell Bruce Perry, man, he was asking that shit, man. Bruce Perry, so you understand, I'm on MC 101, and I've been on MC 101 now for almost 2.5 years. You know, I left out in 2017. I probably took a year off because I really needed to take some time off for myself and get away from that because I was burned out with all the drama and the BS and all the extra shit that was going on. And the funny thing about it is it took a motorcycle crash, hit a deer, almost died, for me to all of a sudden go, I need to get back into this shit because I can't die without people knowing what I know. I hate to say it like that, but that's how it was. Can't hear you.
If nobody's going to call in, it is what it is. That's what it is. I applaud you, Guns, for coming on, just at least clearing the air. Hold on, we may have a call right here.
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay, hold on. I think we got a call right here.
I told my man to call.
State your name. Where you calling from? Hold on. I'm sorry. Caller, state your name and where you calling. State your name and where you calling from.
Man, you know what it is, man.
Turn your background down a little bit because you get the double feedback.
All right.
Got it?
Savage.
What's going on, Savage? What you got for us today? First off, what's going on with you, brother?
What's going on, man? I got a question for Two Guns.
What you got?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, he can hear you.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. Two Guns, my question for you is this. You got a page it's a Facebook page called MC 101?
Yeah, MC 101, Tradition and Protocol.
All right.
Hello?
Okay. My question is this, right? You, from what I'm listening to you saying, you're what I would call an MC, a purist. You know, it's like the guys that race for free. They don't even want to race for money. So
Absolutely.
I would consider you a purist.
Absolutely.
So what's wrong? My question is this. What's wrong with MC 101? If that's what you believe in, if that's what you love doing, what's wrong with you selling a product or using MC 101 to finance your baby or your brainchild or what you love? Why should you? Because it sounds like, you know, why should you not profit from your knowledge, your wisdom? You know, a man that hung my TVs a long time ago told me I'm paying him for what he knows, not what he does. So if you got something that you give into the set and you're giving a part of you, what is wrong with you benefiting from that financially?
So, I mean, to understand that, you were 100% right. I am an MC purist. I'm about the old school tradition. So when you went to sit down with an old school dude, say in a bar or a clubhouse, it wasn't about money. If you bought him a drink, you bought him a drink, but he would sit down and have a conversation with you. I've been on the road, pull over, talk to an old dude. Hey man, we sat there and chopped it up or whatever it is. I might offer him, hey, you need a cigarette or whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. But it was always about the education and the knowledge. The knowledge was free. Now, I'm all for platforms where we take care of each other in terms of some information is presented. I'm going to present this information. I'm going to say it just real talk. What Big Sale is doing, where he's not making money off of the MC community. He's providing a service for the MC community, and he's being able to actually do this by people donating to him. That right there is something that, I'll be honest with you, I've had to come to grips with, because that's a part of 2020. It is. That's just a part of our lifestyle right now. But to be able to reach more platforms, we have to do that, because I've been in this house. That's 10K. It's over 10K. He done put so much money into his thing. He got fucking damn near $1,000 fucking things that are sitting there just hanging out. And it costs to be able to present this knowledge and be able to give this information. But what I look at and what I don't like is when you take it, and people can call me a hater all you want to. People call me a hater all they want to. When I see you manipulate the MC community for your profit and to put money in your pockets, then I have an issue with that. When you taking care of the MC community by providing something and you promoting it by being able to, put out, buy stuff, buy equipment, do stuff like that, those are costs that come at that. But when you make 100,000 off of the MC community and you have not provided, there's nothing associated with that, just you making money, and that's what you're making money off of. For me, and people can be who they want, and people can actually have their own concepts. For me, that's fucked up. And for me, I look at it as you're taking advantage of the MC community and you're making money off the MC community. So what's the difference between you and the promoter that charges you, or the place that charges you, $1,000 for you to actually rent their spot, and an additional $5,000 for you to insure?
So two guns. Let me ask you something then. Let me ask you this, right? If you I'm listening. I gotta stop listening to I'm watching it on the TV. Let me turn that off. All right. How long you been on the set?
Which one?
Two Guns. How long you been a biker?
Okay, he just asked you which one. Now he's been on. He started off on the white set, and now he's on the black set.
Because I've been a biker since
combined.
Yeah, I've been a biker since 1980. Actually, the first bike I ever got onto and started riding in was doing this, I was 86. So the first bike I ever got on.
So if Two Guns, if you let's say you show up or you come to a roundup and you got to rent a place to do, you want to spread your wealth of knowledge. You got to rent a venue, right? You got to pay security. The shit you got expenses that you're gonna concur. You see what I'm saying? So if I see you somewhere and I say, Two Guns, you're gonna do it for free? You're not gonna charge people even if it's a donation?
Actually, if I go to a roundup, I'm gonna pull my damn trailer up there. I'm gonna park, and you can come and sit down and have a conversation with me all you want to. That's just the way I do business.
Yeah, but you had to pay for your gas.
Okay, but
so it's really like a sign of respect. You had to pay for your gas, brother. So if I'm sitting down and I'm like, well, this brother paid for his gas, and I'm sitting around the fire, you know what I'm saying, the bonfire, I'm like, Two Guns, what you did isn't free. So if I offer you something, you wouldn't take it.
If you was to come up to me and say, yo, Two Guns, and hey, look at the thing, I got a bottle of Gentleman Jack for you, I'm gonna take it. Anybody that's ever known me, come up and bring me something to drink so we can drink together. Come up and bring me something that we
Brother,
can
I'm gonna tell you like this. Two Guns. I don't necessarily have to agree with you, but one thing you got is my respect, because you are definitely an anomaly. There's not too many like you left in this world, so like I said, man, I can respect it to the fullest. If that's how you choose to do, I can't knock it. And you got my, you know what I'm saying? I support you 100%, man, because you're definitely one of a kind.
I done did everything that I did in my life for me to be able to do what I can do now. So a young cat can't talk about what I did and the things that I've done through my life. So I served 20 years in the military, retired from the military. I have a stable job. The way I look at it was my uncles, my father, my cousins, all these people that taught me about this shit. The guys that's in fucking Oakland that I went down there and I washed their fucking bikes. They never charged me. They never charged me for this. So how would I look charging somebody for something? Now, I will look at it and say, I put my shirts up. Hey, I'm going to provide a service for you guys while I'm on this trip. I'm coming to California. I leave out on the 30th. I'm riding all the way across from the East Coast to the West Coast. I'm going to have an opportunity for everybody to actually be there with me on this journey. And I'm going to set some pages up. It costs money to do that. So that's what I'm trying to do. But I'm not making a profit off of that. I'm trying to give you guys what I'm doing in my life. But I don't know anything other than that. And that's the way I was raised. So for me to address somebody taking advantage of the MC community the way that it was done, I have to address that. I have to look at it, because it wasn't about taking care of my means. It was about me making profit and me paying my bills so that I can live in my house. That has nothing to do with you being on a bike, being on a slab, or doing stuff like that. So that's just me. So maybe I am the anomaly. I mean, that's just, I'm the matrix.
Let me say this too. let me say this. So let me say this to Savage and to Two Guns. The difference, Savage, I think what Two Guns is saying is what old boy did was he set out on purpose to deceive and to make money and to make this thing a profitable thing for him. Like for me, I never set out. I never started FHO to be where I'm at. It just grew into that. Two Guns never started Sucka Free MC and then ended up getting his own MC 101. It progressed into what it is. We all have, just like you, for example, with your restaurant. You had to have a business plan. You have to have a strategy. And that's what old boy did. Old boy had a business plan, a strategy. The whole 9 yards. It was never about motorcycling.
It wasn't.
And I think that's what Two Guns is trying to say. Where the set was ruined, where the set was full, because this guy is preaching and teaching and blasting motorcycling, but you don't even care nothing about motorcycling. You don't even care nothing about the set. Like even you, Savage, you can preach and teach on Getting Yonder because you've done it on a trike. You've done it, you've done it several different ways to whereas I can honestly sit down and have a conversation. Hey, Sav, you gonna be like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Family.
Yeah. So that ain't gonna work. But what I'm saying is that's the difference, and that's what Two Guns was really wanting to bring out tonight was that listen, this guy preached, used the community, used you to line his pockets for personal gain, to line his pockets for personal innuendos, and to do everything that he had to do. He was trying to get the numbers up so that he can sell it, make his money, and be done with it. It was never for the love of motorcycles.
But I guess I'm looking at it. We as the set, black, white, brown, we're culpable because without us, there is no him. So we fed him. So are we guilty as well?
Absolutely.
I can't. It's kind of like when. But wait, hold on. It's kind of like when somebody. You're pretty much saying he used the set.
No,
I look at it as us as grown. Huh?
You 100% right, man. We all guilty because we allowed it.
Yeah, so I look at it as like when a guy says, man, this chick used me, man. She used me to pay her bills. She used me to get her nails and her hair done. I'm like, listen, dog, you grown. You made that decision to be used. So I'm thinking we all need to use our own brains. And when somebody's doing it don't sound right, or it's up to us to draw the line. You see what I'm saying? You can only be used as long as you allow it. And we allowed it. That's what it sounds like to me. Now, Two Guns, you got my attention. Two Guns, you got my attention because it ain't too many purists left in the world. You see what I'm saying? So tell me the name of your show or your Facebook page. I'll definitely make it a point to check you out.
MC101.
Just for the simple fact that MC101. I'll definitely make it a point to check you out because you're doing this thing from the heart. So I don't care what it is. I'm definitely going to check you out, man, because it ain't a whole lot of people like you left in this world, whether it's MCing or pole dancing. Ain't too many people doing shit from the heart no more. So you definitely got my respect, Sel. I enjoyed the show. Two Guns, this was great. I still want to see that threesome with all three of y'all to give that dude Preach a chance to air his side out. But I'll definitely be checking you out, Two Guns. Y'all take it easy, Sel. I'm gone.
All right, now. I got somebody else too that wanted me. Let me call this guy right here. Let me hang up with this one. Let me call because I know he probably got some real good questions. Hold on 1 second. Boom.
You got
my man. What's up?
What's going on, baby? I got you on live. Introduce yourself and go on and ask your question.
What's up, man? It's Dreezy, man. Texas in the house, man. Dreezy, man. I was just calling, man. I want to ask Guns a quick question. I'm glad you addressed the flaming issue. We had that issue, Club. We had that issue with Sucka Free about 3 years ago. They just straight blasted us. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, before you flame, my question to you is, now I applaud you for what you're doing. Real talk, man. It takes a strong brother to do what you're doing. My question is, did you guys, when you flame these clubs, was it just him just solely trying to get the numbers up and for him to do what he did, or did he actually do research on these clubs, or did any other people do research on these clubs that they were flaming? That's my question.
No. So you understand, and I want to put this out there. This wasn't a message, or this wasn't something that was done by Preach. He was just intentionally doing that. But this was a marketing ploy to foster numbers, and it would address that flaming clubs. This is the message that I wanted people to understand is controversy creates conversation. So when you flame somebody, all of a sudden conversations happen. So next thing you know, that club, so you get it, right? It's a marketing ploy. So that club,
right.
members are gonna come and they're gonna join the page because they want to defend their members. So now you have those members joining. You have other members that want to talk shit about that. You have people like, oh shit, they talking shit on Sucka Free MC. So it's a marketing ploy for you to draw more numbers. So that's where all of a sudden I was just like, yo, this isn't it, man. This is not what I signed up for. I don't want to be flaming people. This isn't it. Now, I hate to say it, man. If you put your fucking vest on a bush or you lay it on the ground in the beach, I got something to fucking say about that. I'm going to address that because for me, that's absolute disrespect. But I'm not going to get to the point where I'm just trying to flame you because you're or a specific club. Because so you understand, Rough Riders was a targeted club. It was a targeted club. I wasn't targeting him, but all of a sudden I would see these posts pop up about Rough Riders. And y'all know it. All of a sudden, 500 Rough Riders to join the page and they've argued and fighting. We had to shut down things. So that's when I came up, when all the shit that happened and all the stuff was going on, I came up and I said, enough of the fucking flaming. I'm done with that. I don't want to deal with that. Here's the deal. If you got a picture that I put a post up, it was on the page. I said, if you got a picture that you want to post to the page, you want to address a violation of vest, and it was a vest violation post that I put up. I said, post your picture. If the person or the club calls and contacts me, we will take the post down. So at that point, what the process was is education about vests. Because, so you guys understand, we was getting 500 or 600 different calls, pictures, everything like that a day on vest violations. It was ridiculous. I just got to a point where I didn't want to look at my fucking Facebook profile because it was so crazy that there was so much going on. So that was where we were at with it. And that was the reason why I came up with that concept that call me and I will work it out and we'll pull the post down. So if anybody that was during that time frame and remember that whole concept, that was me that came out with that concept of we'll pull it down. And so it got to the point where it wasn't about education anymore. It was about trying to find a flaw in somebody's vest and basically put them out there. So that's how shit was.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, man. It got to where, with a guy that's been riding since 03, 04. Well, I've been riding since 99, but started actually riding on the set in 03 and 04 and actually joined the club a little later. It got to where it started going from education because new guys see this post and new guys see all this merchandise being sold, and you trying to come on the set and learn and these things you didn't know. Some guys were babe at that time, they on motorcycles, so they didn't know. So they would buy these sucker-free shirts and all that. I can even just speak for myself. I'm a real one. So I speak for myself. I thought it was really some real shit until I actually got in the club that was actually teaching protocol, that was actually teaching tradition, actually teaching their members to where I didn't have to go. And they got to where every time you saw somebody with flaming, even if it was about an event, I always happened to be about a particular event that really had nothing to do with protocol, had nothing to do with tradition, shouldn't have even been on the page. Fortunately for us, we share mutual respect in our state to where we didn't even have to make the call. The government in the state made the call because we don't have 2 years in. We don't have 5 years in. We got 20 years in. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, and we clap back at them, and and a lot of people are just they were kind of dumbfounded or scared to clap back at them because every time somebody would post a post, they put on their such and such 1%er. And then you have to deal with the demagogue, and then you have to deal with the myth of, don't say nothing to a big bad 1% because they'll come kick your ass. Even though you don't know them, they don't know you. You don't know who the fuck writing shit. It could be a little girl writing shit. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's what we dealt with. And I was like, obviously, and we slapped back at him. Like, obviously, you don't know the fuck you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because you just running your mouth. You ain't never stepped foot in our state. But I stepped foot in your state and on a bike. You know what I'm saying? So it was things like that. And I just want that was a question I want to ask, man. And salute to you. I ain't gonna take too much of your time. Salute to you for doing what you're doing, bro. I appreciate it.
I want you to understand something, man. You was 100% right where you was at with it. And one of the things that I addressed on the page with all the rest of the writers was, why are we fucking, if this isn't about education, you can only educate so many people so many times on vest violations. So you guys understand, people don't like what happens on MC 101, and I always get this like, 2 Guns, you you're doing too much on the page, you kicking people off, you're doing this and this and that. The reason why I run MC 101, the way I run MC 101 is a direct reflection of the time that I spent with Sucka Free MC. And that's because I will not allow people to flame another fucking person for some bullshit or whatever it is. If there's a conversation or something that we need to address, you agree to disagree. You're not going to sit there and you're going to have an opinion and you're going to take away somebody's opinion on how they feel about what they're doing. That's the reason why I address the things that I do on MC 101. And if you don't like that, then get the fuck off my page. I mean, as simple as that. That's just a simple concept. But what it comes down to is I saw clubs that really, maybe they might not have been just educated about that. I know a club that had 60 years in it. And they had posts and they had pictures from like 2000, 1996. And people were doing shit fucked up. So all of a sudden you're going to flame somebody for a picture that happened in 1996? I mean, this is 2013, 2014. That's like 18 years. Why are we even talking about that? So that's what I came down to was I don't want to see any more vest violations. I don't want to see any more of this. If we can't get back to educating people and talking about this is how you do business on the set, I don't want to talk about your vest. I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about when you come to a club or come to a clubhouse, you should actually parlay. You guys go up, shake hands with the sergeant at arms, get the rules and regulations of the club. Those are the fucking shit that you need to know about being on the MC set. You don't need to know about wearing your vest backwards. That's fucking then a horse is fucking dead. So we're not educating. That all we're doing is just being fucking bullies. And I would always tell my editors, don't throw the fucking 1% down. Now, if every once in a while somebody got sideways, I'd be like, yo, understand, I'm saying this because this is how we do business, but I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, I'm a 1%er because of some bullshit. I'm going to say, this is how you should be doing business because this is how business is done across the board, not some shit that happens in Memphis and then in Cali is different because when you go to different demographics or different geographical areas, shit is different. Texas is different. California is different. Florida is different. Memphis is different. Everything is different in different areas. So the general stuff is one, as a 1%er, you should be addressing, hey, shake hands, take your glasses off. Those are type of scenarios and situations that you're addressing as a 1%er. And that's what you should be saying as traditions and protocols. Shake hands, take your fucking gloves off. Don't come into the fucking to the clubhouse with your fucking stereo blasting. Those are traditions and protocols that 1%ers should be talking about because that's across the board. But stuff that you're talking about that's in general areas, that's up to the dominant of the area. And Sucka Free MC and MC 101 has nothing to say about what happens in fucking Memphis. It doesn't. So, and I think
that shouts out to you. Shouts out to you to know that honestly, man, I'm just gonna speak on it. Shouts out to you to know that you're not one of those fake cats behind the keyboard that give your own perception of how things need to be, and then not have any particular knowledge of that particular area. And that also they recognize that protocol is general in nature, but it varies in different regions. And that's been the issue all along because these guys get on protocol. I mean, they get on these pages and they just go in. And that particular time, I'm glad you posted. And ever since then, me personally, I'm not going to speak on my club and for my club, but I've had an issue with Sucka Free MC because I was like, this is bullshit. And I feel like it's bullshit because simple fact that, hey man, y'all trying to educate cats, but you flaming cats for what they do at their own event. And if you wasn't at the event, in my mind, shut the fuck up. I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I appreciate what you say about the best thing. I appreciate all those things. I appreciate that stuff. But a lot of people get this thing mixed up when they see 1% of all on social media. They think that just because you're on social media that you're a 1%er that you're dumb. They think that you're a 1%er that you're a dumb biker. So, I mean, I'm enjoying this conversation, man, and salute to you and everybody else. And shouts out to Texas. And just let you know what time it is. 99 Mob, we out.
All right. We good?
Yeah, we good. I got one more call coming for you right now.
All right.
Hello.
Hey, caller, state your name. Where you calling from?
My name is Chris. I'm calling in just outside of Stockton, California. I think that's
shit! Hey,
Two Guns' home.
Hold on. Wait. Stockton, California. What you know about Stockton, California, motherfucker? I'm from Stockton, California.
Yeah, no, I'm right outside of Stockton in Manteca. My charter's out of Stockton.
Yeah, don't say nothing about no Stockton, motherfucker. Hey, 209 Charter Way.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's right by where our old clubhouse was. Right underneath the 5 and Persian and right on Fremont.
Oh yeah.
All right, so what you got for me, caller?
All right, so I was on I'm on the most recent regime to leave Sucker Free. I used to write as Rewired 1%er. Now I'm part of the 9 that all left and went over to 4 for the Road where the podcast started and stuff. And I guess the big thing for me is that, I think I started right after you left, Two Guns. And the page had taken a big different turn from what you were talking about with the flame spraying, and everything like that, and calling clubs out and stuff like that. And really got knee deep into the protocol, the tradition, the kind of, just getting your feet wet. No Facebook page, no YouTube channel, no, Netflix video, no, history documentary, outlaws and criminals and blah, blah, blah is going to give you it's not going to give you a playbook, but it's going to give you a little bit of a feet, of just a temperature maybe of what the water is, before you start getting too deep into something that you don't really understand. Before you jump into the deep end, you got to learn how to wade, your way out there and understand, how to move. 1%ers move in a certain different way. 99s move in a certain different way. And a lot of that stuff bleeds over back and forth. And Sucker Free for the last few years has really, at least the Facebook page, I have to really put a hard line there. The Facebook page, the men's page, the Sucker Free MC page, I don't know anything about the women's page. And I stayed off of Instagram until that page ended up pissing me off, which is eventually what led to the tipping point of all of us leaving. I started out on the mixed side I'm a white dude. I'm a Portuguese, born and raised Hayward, California, outside of Oakland. Kind of spent my time half and half. Joined the Navy in '98. Got out in 2012 on a disability. Me and Two Guns actually had it out a little bit today on the MC 101 page about my perception of females and why they should be or shouldn't be, knee deep into the club scene and things like that. But the one thing that I did like about the page when I was on it was that it was always an avenue for communication. Nobody got uppity and shit. Every once in a while, somebody would get uppity that would be, a follower of the page. But a lot of the times it would be the same people over and over again. How the page got up to 85,000 people was because of all that flame spraying back and forth and shit like that, up to about 50 grand 3 years ago. And then the last 35,000 came in because it got back to the roots or what it was supposed to be, not the bait and switch. A previous caller was talking about, well, a restaurant, things like that. Well, a restaurant is a for-profit organization. That avenue is very clearly described. I am selling you food, and I am selling you food so that way I can keep my doors open and continue to sell you food and also pay for the roof over on my head.
Oh, did we freeze? disrespect that you.
All right, I think we're back, man. I think we're
Oh,
back.
okay, yeah. So I was posting up on my guys. I guess you lost them, but I just wanted to touch base with everybody out there. And I was doing my final words. This was not, and I was trying to gain my words. This itself was not about. This was not about me trying to shit on Sucka Free MC. It was not about me trying to shit on Preach. I had made some agreements that I lived by. But what it came down to was when you disrespect me by making comments about the decisions that I made in my life, about discoveries that I made in my life, about who I am as a man. And so you guys may not understand, but up until 2017, I had documentation and information and knowledge that I was raised by an Irish woman and a Hispanic or Native American man. Now, this is documentation because I was adopted at birth, that I had factual information, factual knowledge. And in 2017, DNA changed everything in my world. Shocked me. It just changed everything in my world because I found out not only that all the documentation that I had from my adoption agency was not only false, but it was a lie. And in that time frame in 2017, I was actually able to find my mother and ultimately my father. So for you to address concepts of my decisions based on those things, when I found out about that, I was fucking pissed. And I had a vendetta that I wanted to shit on Preach as bad as I wanted to shit on anybody else in my life. I don't think I've ever had something or a scenario, a situation where I wanted to just get back at somebody as bad as I wanted to. But as the day progressed and as everything came down to it, I had a chance to sit back, as I always do, and think about what this really was about. And this was not about Sucka Free MC. It was not about Preach. It was not about anything else. What I wanted to address with the MC community, and I think Sales he's really brought it to the forefront, is we have to really be careful with the people that we accept knowledge from and we take knowledge from, because you don't know where their knowledge came from. And if they're not verifiable, you shouldn't be taking knowledge from them. If you can't verify the facts that they can sound good. Anybody can sound good. We understand that from Sucka Free MC. You have a marketing executive, you have a professor at New York University. He wasn't a professor at bumfuck college. He was a professor at New York University. That's a prestigious university. So naturally, he's going to be able to present and be able to provide information through knowledge and things like that, because you're not going to be a professor unless you're a doctorate or you've got some information to where you can be able to grab a bunch of general information to be able to put it together in things. If you guys have never had to get a degree, we're just talking about a master's degree. Now, a master's degree requires a significant amount of writing, significant amount of education, and you have to be able to bring that information together and put it in a written form. So this is where you have to be careful on who you're accepting as the knowledge that you're gaining from people. And that's really the message that I want to present tonight, because this, when it first started, I was mad. Hey, look, I'll tell you, last night I was hot as fish grease. Wow, hot, boy, I was fucking hot because somebody came to me and told me that. But then I started to think about it as, it can't be about my anger or my being upset about somebody flaming me. It has to be about education. I've always addressed this with people, is don't talk about the person, talk about generalization. So if it's a situation where you have to do education, it's a generalized education. Don't target it on one specific person. You generalize it as, this is a learning education for everybody. So everybody today can understand that you have to be wary of false prophets. You have to be wary of the people that, if you don't see them on the slab, then that should tell you something's not right. So you have to be able to take the information, gain the information, but make sure that you're verifying for a fact. And I've said this on the page several times. You have to verify the information that's being presented, because anybody can present information. If it's not verifiable information, you need to make sure that you document it. So that's what I wanted you guys to take from this. All right, 100% from that. And thank you for your platform. I appreciate you guys being out here today, man.
Say, man, it is what it is. I think GUNZ, that this is a beautiful thing, because again, it gave everybody the opportunity to understand that you have a responsibility. We all as individuals have a responsibility to fact check and to verify. Just because GUNZ said don't mean shit. Just because Big Cell said don't make it law. We're giving you what you need, at least to have give you a direction to go in, to verify it for yourself, so that you can take from it what you need to take. So understand that, ladies and gentlemen. You know,
last message I want for you guys, man. And my man Savage came on and said it. I'm gonna say this just real talk. If you're not a purist in this, meaning you don't need to benefit from this, shut the fuck up. Real talk. Because if you're not in this to share information, if you're not in this to give information freely, if you're not in this to be a part of this community and help this community to strive and to be greater and take on more responsibilities and teach more people, shut the fuck up. Because if you're about profit and you're about making money, then this ain't where you should be, because nothing is learned and nothing is fucking gained by paying a price. The price that you pay and the price that you're gonna pay for being on the fucking in this community is on the fucking slab, man. That price is a motherfucker, man. I just came back from Tampa. It was 750 degrees and the fucking devil was riding on the back of the trike just chilling with me. That's what it's about, man. It's not about fucking making money off this shit. This is about you paying the price by being on the slab and making and doing what you do on the road. That's what this is about. And if you're charging people for information and knowledge, then you sorry motherfuckers. I'm sorry, yeah. I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna get off because I'm just like that, man. Don't charge a motherfucker for knowledge. Make a motherfucker come to you and give him knowledge.
Hey, there it is there. All right, y'all. That's what it is. It's your boy Big Cell FHOH, and I see my man Two Guns. MC 101, Tradition and Protocol on Facebook. FHO Podcast Radio. You can reach us on all platforms. I hope you guys had a good night tonight. This is a long segment, but a lot of stuff was said and a lot of stuff was learned and a lot of stuff was taught. So, again, GUNZ, talk about them shirts, man. Let's get them shirts sold so we can get you on that road, man.
Hey, when I come back on the backside, I'm coming to Atlanta. I'm dropping you off. So I'm going to be in Atlanta probably around the 12th. We got some shit in Atlanta and in Charlotte that we got to do on a I think that Friday or Saturday. So we coming back so we could be there in Charlotte on that Saturday. We got a memorial we doing. So I'm going to be back that Friday for sure.
Okay, so when are the t-shirts going to sell for your trip?
Man, look, I mean, I put them up for 50 on the theme, but that gave you access to the page. You know, I got basically the t-shirts cost me $20. You give me $10 extra on it, $30, whatever it is. I only got 2X's, 3X's left. That's just how it is. But I mean, it is what it is now because the trip's already going to be done. People that have been able to take care of it, you know, man, I got love for you guys, man. I appreciate it. They on my page right now. I got a secondary page, a view from the life of Two Guns. I kind of posted some videos. I got a whole bunch of other videos. I got a GoPro and front and back rear cameras. So I'm gonna be in the mountains doing all kinds of, man, look, we going to Pacific Coast Highway. We going all the way down to LA from Oakland, man. We gonna do some shit that nobody's ever done. We gonna document the whole trip. I'm gonna be posting daily on what's going on. That's where I was charging 50, but I just take donations, man. People want to do donations, man. It's all good. I got 2Xs and 3Xs left. If we get some things, I might decide I'm gonna, make some other shirts. But there's only 25. Actually, it's only 25 shirts that was produced. Actually, 50 shirts. It's 25 shirts that was produced. Yeah, 25 was produced. I ain't going no more than 50 on this one, and I'm done with it. So it's a limited edition. If you don't get it, you don't get it, man. Again, it's not about money for me. It was about trying to buy some cameras. I got my cameras now, whatever it is. Everything else right now, if you want to just donate to it, it's about paying for hotel rooms because we trying to hit every spot, man. We going through Sturgis. We going up in the hills of Montana, man. We going through the hills of Wyoming. All that shit is going to be live on the page, on the view of the Life of Two Guns. I'm going to put it on the page. So you want to donate, I'll include you to the page, and it's all good, man.
There it is there, man. Listen, our time is up. We love y'all. Do what you do. Two Guns, I love you, brother. Be safe. Do your thing.
Yeah, man.
Especially
I'll
when
be
you
in
come
Atlanta,
through.
man. We got something to drink, all right?
Yeah, for sure. You already know I'm going to take you. That little bar, I like the stuff I got on the bar, and I don't even drink. So, so that's what it is, man.
That Crown Apple was nice as hell. I was like,
yes,
shit.
sir. It's still there waiting on you. So that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen.
You're listening to MC 101 Talk Show. Live. Hosted by Two Guns. Co-hosted by Big Cell. And we talking straight motorcycle protocol. Tune in every Wednesday around 7 p.m. for pure motherfucking facts on FHO Podcast Radio. MC 101, where motorcycling is life.
All right, Daniel.
Yo, testing 1 2, testing 1 2.
That's how I got that heat. Let's go.